job is well cut out for the new and the incoming Deputy President, that he has to bring the Republic of Kenya together, he has to bring all regions together, he has to bring all communities together, and that he must remain a symbol of national unity and support the President in spearheading a united Kenya.
But many Kenyans, or a section of Kenya, are saying, are raising concerns. Why, in a span of 2 years, is this the stability? Is there a problem in the Kenya Kwanza, coalition or administration? Where are we having these, particular? Looks like there are issues, unsaid issues or unseen issues within the administration.
Politics is politics. I mean, there is always a political bickering in every political formation, both in Kenya Kwanza. You have seen the same is happening in Azimio, it is happening in ODM. So it's normal. In politics, politics is politics. But secondly, I think the former Deputy President has gone through the constitutional impeachment process with clear specific issues that were raised about him. And therefore, really, you can't just make blanket accusation. I think the process was clear that there were issues that were raised about him. They went through the National Assembly, they went through the Senate, they have found their way to court. The court has adjudicated partly on the processes, and therefore, really, we must look at this for what it is. It is a constitutional and political processes within the country. In fact, I would be a worried person if Kenya Kwanza had the challenges that we have had with the Deputy President, former Deputy President, and that because we are unable to utilize the existing constitutional framework, we just say, no, we are not happy with what the former Deputy President is doing, but we have no other way out. Let's just live with him for the next 5 years. I think the fact that the Kenyan Constitution 2010 provided for mechanisms of handling these situations is a good thing. So the Constitution anticipated that you could have an office holder who would do or violate certain provisions of the Constitution at the very high level. We have seen impeachments of governors. We have seen removal from office of certain, a former Deputy Chief Justice and many other office holders who have been removed from office. It has never gotten to the level of a Deputy President. What that means is that every person in Kenya is subject to the Constitution, and that this message, what you can see happening today, will send a clear message to every leader, every office holder in Kenya, that nobody is indispensable.
This looks like a special case, Governor. The case of the former DP Rigathi Gachagua is still in court, and nobody knows the outcome. What happens if it's clear, or rather the impeachment is set aside by the court?
The law is clear. I mean, that what is happening today has been sanctioned and cleared by court. So once the full hearing of the petition in court is done, and whatever outcome that will come from that process, I am sure the courts will not act in vain. They will provide a mechanism on how to implement whatever decision that they will reach. So really, this is, it's just that clear testament that the Kenyan Constitution was well thought out, and therefore let us allow the constitutional processes to go on. In fact, in other republics, we would have sworn in Kindiki if we just wanted the political whims. We would have sworn in Kindiki 2 weeks ago, but we had to wait for the process because we are a law-abiding country.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you so much for your time. And I'll just shortly, I want to catch up the Emurua Dikiri Member of Parliament, Johanna Ngeno. Thank you so much, Mheshimiwa, for your time. Please, what are your comments about today?
I want to say that today is a very great day, especially because, despite all the issues that this country might be having, what is important for us is the stability of the nation. And today is one of those days that we are feeling our country is being stabilized. The issues that we have had for the last 2 months or 3 months or 6 months, today is the day when actually the decision has been made, and we are believing that this decision which has been made will stabilize this country. And that is what is good for us as a country. What is good for us as a country, even if we are having current economic turmoil, we are having several other political instabilities, what is important is for the country to stabilize. And the decision the president made to bring in Professor Kindiki as his deputy is so that the country can stabilize and move forward. Because there's nothing else. There is nothing that this country can do if it is not politically stable. The country cannot develop economically if it is not stable. The country cannot develop even academically, and all those other issues that we need. The country has to be stable, and we are very happy that the country is stable. And even the swearing in will ensure that the stability of the country is contained or retained. Of course, also with the international communities and of course the investors and you know, all of them are watching how Kenya is behaving. And we are so happy so far that there hasn't been any incidences. The country is transiting slowly, and there has not been any issue that could jeopardize the economy of the country. It can jeopardize the stability of the country, and we're happy. I just want to tell you that we are happy, and we are wishing the best the incoming deputy president, so that he can help the president to move forward.
And finally, do you think Kindiki has everything it takes to be a DP?
Kindiki has everything that it takes. Of course, no human is complete. I will tell you that there is nothing you will say. This one is the best, or this one is too good. You know, all of us have certain weaknesses and certain strengths. What I believe is that the strengths that Kindiki has are more than the weaknesses that he has, and that is what we need. We don't need a perfect man. We only need somebody who can actually contextualize and conceptualize and of course synergize with the country. Somebody who can understand what is going on. Somebody who can understand that the president needs assistance. The president needs to be assisted in making decisions that can help this country move. Yeah, thank you.
That is Mheshimiwa Emuru Dikir, Member of Parliament, Johanna Ngeno, just making his across the comments or the sentiments about the swearing in of Professor Kithure Kindiki that is expected to happen at about 10 a.m. today in the morning. Dignitaries, of course, are here, and so many of them are already arrived, and we are being also cleared from this podium just to make sure that everything is well, and of course because we have just a few moments before the president makes his way in, and we are told he's going to be here any time moment. And of course you continue to watch. These live pictures coming to you from the Kenya International Convention Center. These are live pictures.
Naam, shukran sana mwenzangu Giverson Maina, unamwona hapo akiwa katika maeneo hayo ya KICC, na pia hapo kando kidogo tulikuwa tumeona kwamba kuna tumbuizo tu chache ama fupi ambazo zinaendelea pale kwa ajili tu ya kuwatumbuiza wale wageni ambao wameweza kufika. Sijui kama tunaweza msikiza mjumbe Adan Keynan.
To have the presidency in the current constitution. What they had in mind was two individuals with the same chemistry, with the same foresight, with the same platform to manage the affairs of the Republic of Kenya if they were elected on the same platform. Now, taking in mind that 2022 general election has given us a presidency comprising of President William Ruto and the former Deputy President Rigji, meaning the assumption was they will work together. Suddenly, the chemistry went haywire.
Do you think that was a mistake picking regarding Gachagua?
Let me deal with it. Suddenly the chemistry did not work. And therefore that brings to the fore what will safeguard the national interest of the Republic of Kenya is a united, democratic, development-oriented Republic of Kenya. And that's why when the president failed to work together, and there were a number of allegations against the former deputy president, including creating disunity, creating despondency, creating shareholding phenomenon. The framers of the current constitution had put also a clause for the removal, for the impeachment. That's why we as the members of the National Assembly seized that opportunity to look at all the allegations against the former deputy president and agreed that he was a threat to the national well-being of the people of Kenya. So that was castigated, that was taken to the Senate agreed, and ultimately he was decertified, he went to the court, The court again agreed with the Senate and the National Assembly. Now we are bringing a new dawn of Professor. I have known Professor Kindiki. He's going to bring in sobriety. He's going to bring in some plans of rule of law. He's going to bring in unity, and that is what the president requires, so that this country moves forward in achieving the millennial goal. Kenya, meaning we require unity, we require development, and we require unity in our diversity, and that's where we are headed.
Thank you so much, Mheshimiwa. And that is Member of Parliament, one Kenyan, just making, raising his concerns and saying Professor Kithure Kindiki has everything it takes to be the Kenya's next Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. And now we're being chased away for just to make sure everything is orderly. And these are live pictures coming to you from the Kenyatta International Convention Center. And as you can see, everybody is seated. Dignitaries are seated for the momentous occasion in the Kenya's Republic. And everything is ready. As you can see, these are members of parliament from across the country.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And of course, that is one chairperson of the NCIC, Dr. Samuel Kobia. If I can have just one word with him. Daktari, you don't even need to stand, but thank you. What's your comment about today's event? This is quite momentous.
Well, this is momentous, and what really it signifies is that our constitution is working. And I think this is something that Kenyans should be very proud of, because it's not many places in Africa where something like this happens. So following the constitution, I think we can say that now there is maturation of the Kenyan constitution.
There were concerns about, the cohesion and the unity of the country. Up to today, how do you see it?
No, I would say that really there is a very good cohesion emerging, and I think the unity as we see it now, because of the way the institutions have worked, Parliament and the court. So we see the legislative and the judiciary and now the executive. I think this brings people together, and the unity of Kenyans today, I think, is exemplified by the way these institutions have worked. So we are very pleased to be here today and to celebrate this event.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That is Samuel Kobia, chairperson of the NCIC. Of course, they had raised issues on the cohesion, or rather the political temperatures across the country, but now he says everything looks okay, and of course the country, he says, is ready to usher in the third Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. Of course, the first one being William Ruto, who was the first, and then of course Rigathi Gachagua, they've now impeached, and now we have Professor Kithure Kindiki, who is going to become the next Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, and is expected to take oath of office this morning at about 10 a.m. And of course, any time from now, we are told the president is going to come in. Of course, if I can just talk to a few wananchi here. Mzee, habari yako, jina lako ni nani na maoni yako ni gani?
Mzuri sana.
Unaitwa nani na maoni yako ni gani?
Naitwa Malongo Francis. Maoni ni kwamba tumefika hapa, tuna furaha kedekede kuja kuhudhuria hii shughuli ya kutayarisha mambo ya kumwapisha huyo bwana Kindiki Kithure kuwa Deputy President wa nchi ya Kenya, na tungependa sana tuwe na utulivu, nchi izidi kuendelea mbele. Asante.
Asante. Those are of course sentiments of wananchi, and if I can just speak to just one of them again here. Habari yako mzee, maoni yako ni yepi kuhusu leo? Anza na jina lako na unatoka wapi?
Kwa jina naitwa Joshua, natoka Mathare. Hii kitu ni kitu tumekuwa tukingojea kwa muda mrefu. Mmenipata? Tumekuwa tukingojea kwa muda mrefu, na mimi vile imekuwa bila kelele mingi na bila mambo mingi ya kutokea kando kando, nimefurahia sana. Sasa wacha Kenya ichukue mkondo yake mpya, tuone itakuwa vipi. Asante.
Asante. If we can just speak to just one lady. Just one lady. Habari yako mama, habari ya asubuhi, jina lako ni nani? Unatoka wapi na maoni yako ni gani?
Naitwa Rose Modhoni kutoka Tharaka Nithi County, na tumekuja kuona Kindiki wetu akipewa nafasi ya kufanya kazi kama Deputy President, na tunafurahia kama watu wa Tharaka Nithi kwa sababu Kindiki ni mtu mzuri, ni mtu anapenda watu na ni mtu very 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 good. Sisi tunafurahia hiyo.
Umetoka Tharaka Nithi leo?
Tumetoka leo asubuhi, tulitoka huko saa 8 ya usiku na tukafika huku saa 1.
Watu wa Tharaka Nithi wanasemaje kuhusu Profesa Kithure Kindiki?
Wanasema wamefurahi sana kuona kijana yao anafanya kazi mzuri, na tunapendelea hivyo anafanya. Hata wakati alikuwa senator alikuwa mtu mzuri sana sana, na tumefurahia, na atafanyia Kenya yote kazi mzuri.
Asante. And if we can just speak to only one again. Unaitwa nani, unatoka wapi na maoni yako ni gani?
Mimi naitwa Alice, natoka Kawangware. Maoni yangu, mimi nimefurahi kuapishwa ya Vice President wetu siku ya leo, na niko na upendo sana, aendelee kufanya kazi mzuri, hii Kenya yetu ikuwe na maendeleo.
Asante. And those are Kenyans, you know, making or rather expressing the views on this particular day. Even some of them coming as far as Tharaka Nithi, the home of Professor Kithure Kindiki, and they're saying they're very happy that one of them has been picked to lead or to become the second in command, or rather the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, if you like. And they say they have so much hope in him to lead the country and of course bring the unity of the country, and of course make sure that the country, there is integrity in leadership. And so they say they are waiting for that moment when he will be taking oath of office at 10 a.m. It will be a momentous and of course a turning moment for the Republic of Kenya, because Professor Kithure Kindiki comes in as the second Deputy President of Kenya within a span of 2 years of the ruling of the Kenya Kwanza administration after the successful impeachment of former DP Rigathi Gachagua, and of course the lifting of the conservatory orders by the Kirinyaga High Court, or rather if you like the Kerogoya Court. And these are live pictures coming to you from the KICC. These are wananchi waiting for that occasion. And of course, as we wait for that moment, the wananchi here, guests, and of course dignitaries, as we wait for President William Ruto to make, his entry here, wananchi of course are being entertained, songs and dance as we wait for that moment. But of course others are asking, what happens if the case of Rigathi Gachagua or his impeachment is set aside by the Kenyan courts? But for us, it's a matter of wait and see. But today, the country, because the High Court yesterday said it was not anticipated that the country can stay without an occupant of that office of Deputy President. And so because of that, today we are going to have that position filled in the name of Professor Kithure Kindiki. We wait. My name is Giverson Minor.
Shukran sana Giverson Maina. Maswali mengi yameweza kuibuliwa pale katika semi tulizozisikia kutoka kwa wale aliozungumza nao Giverson Maina. Na kidogo tu niseme kwamba Giverson amekuwa mchoyo wa sauti za wanawake. manake kuanzia mwanzo akaenda mpaka karibu niseme Giverson, jamani wanawake tupo.
And of course the security, of course the provincial administration and all of them are here just waiting for the clock at about 10 a.m. when Professor Kithure Kindiki is expected to take oath of office and of course become the second Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya within the 5 years of the Kenya Kwanza administration. And of course you remember yesterday there was a justice, or rather if you like the judiciary, the petitioners.
Pishe wachanganuzi wetu, pengine George na Osoi, mutueleze leo ni nini haswa kitakachofanyika pale KICC. Kuna zile zinaitwa instruments of power. Je, tunaanzia wapi na tunamalizia wapi? Zile ni tumbuza nazo ziona, lakini nyuma wacha tupate sauti za wachanganuzi wetu hapa studio wakitueleza katika shughuli ya leo pale KICC ni yepi hasa ambayo tutaweza kuyaona. Kumbuka Rigathi Gachagua pia alipitia hafla sawia kama hii wakati alipokuwa anapishwa na rais na aliweza kuchukua kiapo chake. Leo pia Kindiki atakuwa anachukua kiapo. Kwako George Kithi, leo ni hafla ambayo ni ya kihistoria. Je, tutaweza kuona yapi yakifanyika pale katika ukumbi wa KICC?
Naam, asante. Kwa sheria ni kwamba hakuna mtu ambaye anafanya kazi katika hadhi ya afisa wa serikali ama state officers ambaye hatachukua kiapo. Kiapo hicho kimeashiriwa katika katiba na kimeandikwa na lazima ukitaje, ukiseme kwa sehemu ya mdomo wako mahali parawanja, ili mradi kwamba uweze kusikika na kila mtu na iwe ni tathmini ya semi zako katika nia ya kutumikia katiba, kutumikia Wakenya, yani umma wa Kenya, na pia kuifuata sheria kwa utendeti ama utenda kazi kwa mjibu wa sheria. Hivyo basi bila kiapo huwezi kuchukua mamlaka. Kiapo hiki kina tofauti kidogo na kiapo cha mwenye afisi kuu ambao ni rais, kwa sababu zile instruments of power huwa zinapewa rais, huyu hapewi instruments of power. Ukiangalia kama nilivyoeleza hapo awali kidogo ni kwamba rais anakuwa kamanda, chief CNC wa wanajeshi, yani yeye ni mkubwa wa wanajeshi, amiri jeshi mkuu, kwa hivyo atapewa hilo. Alafu atapewa mamlaka ya kuwa mkuu wa katika nchi nzima, ni rais ambaye na vitengo viwili, leader of government na ambao ni serikali, na pia kiongozi wa nchi ambao ni kielelezo cha ile sovereignty ama utawala wa wananchi wenyewe. Nchi zingine zimegawanya hizi vivi vitengo. Kwa mfano ukiangalia Uingereza wana king, sasa bara nyingine ni queen, ambaye yeye anakuwa ni nation, nchi nzima, yeye ndo kiongozi. Alafu mkuu wa serikali ni prime minister. Alafu majukumu ya kijeshi yanagawanywa kimamlaka, wakati kwa mfano nchi inataka kwenda vitani ama kuna ile command structure ikawa imegawanywa.